Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa. If you are new here, if you are not new here, I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for supporting me and watching my content. Need to take a breath. This video, just a little bit of trigger warning. It is going to be talking about and containing a lot of DV. If DV is a trigger for you, then you might want to skip this video. If not, or if you want to try to hang in there, cool with me. So we've all been watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trials. I have made no qualms that I constantly watch it on Emily D. Baker's channel. I am obsessed with watching her channel. I'm obsessed with watching her content. And I'm not going to give an opinion just yet, right now, this video, on if I think that Amber Heard is being truthful or not being truthful. I will make another video about that. But it has really kind of like, I don't want to say like triggered me too much, but it's kind of like really made me look back at my own DV experiences, or my story, I guess, technically. And I kind of wanted to talk about it. I've never really sat down and talked about it. So I kind of feel like I kind of want to talk about it. I think that it's a lot more common than people realize. I think it's a lot more, it happens to a lot more people. I mean, majority of the time it is women technically, but I mean, it can happen to men as well. But I think that it happens to us a lot more than we care to admit, a lot more than we admit as a society or as just people. So I kind of wanted to talk about my experience and my story. Now, I don't really talk about this. I don't really put it out there. I don't really, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed. I guess if I had to be perfectly honest, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself that I put up with it. So let's start from the beginning. I'm about to be 34 next week on the 26th, so make sure you say happy birthday to me. This started to take place when I was about, let's say, about 19 years old, between the ages of 19 and 21. Well, no, maybe I was 18. I don't know. Anyway, 19 to about when I was 21. And I was with a guy who I was dating for a while, and he was the nicest person to me. He was very good to me. Went to church on Sundays. He worked very hard. He was very kind. He was very supportive. He went out of town for work a lot. And we talked all the time. There was no issues like trust issues or anything like that. I will never forget. I remember this like it was literally yesterday. I will never forget. He came home one day from being out of town for maybe about like a couple weeks. And I remember I was standing at the dining room table and I was sorting through mail because I had been gone for the weekend with a friend. And when I was sorting through the mail, I remember looking over and he was in the living room and I was trying to get his attention. I was calling his name and he either didn't hear me. I don't think he was ignoring me because he never acted like that before. But I mean, who knows with what I'm about to tell you, who knows what he was doing. And I balled up like one of those ads where it's like, you know, food ads, like Papa John's, Domino's, something like that. You know, those like the ads you get in the mail. And I balled it up. Obviously it's not heavy. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to, I'm not being malicious, right? So I balled it up and I threw it at him. And I mean, he was like a good 20 feet away from me. I mean, I'm not going to hurt him with a piece of paper from the mail. And it just went like this on his head. It went boop, like that. Like, boop. And this man got up walked right to me, literally right to me, and just slapped me across the face. I mean, just like slapped me across the face. And I mean, I laugh at it now. I'm not laughing at the situation. I laugh at it now because if some man were to try to hit me now, oh Lord, I'd go to jail. Okay, I'd go to jail. He'd be dealt with. So I'm not laughing at what he did, but I'm just laughing thinking about it now if someone were to, you know, do that. He literally slapped me across the face, and I remember standing there like dumbfounded, shocked. I didn't cry. I didn't move. I think I froze. I was literally like shocked that had happened. I remember walking away from him. I remember going to the kitchen and grabbing my purse, and I remember leaving the house. I don't remember coming home. I think he had called my phone. I don't remember the conversation after that much. I mean, that kind of part is a little bit of a blur to me because I mean, it happened a long time ago. But I remember it happening. And ever since he hit me that one time, anytime he got upset with me, anytime I pissed him off, he was always like in my face. He would push me on my chest all the time. I would have bruises on my chest all the time. He had slapped me in the face. I don't even know how many times. He had punched me in the face. He had drugged me out of bed one time in the middle of the night because he was drinking. He had been violent with me when his parents were in our home. They were sleeping. He had also been violent with me when he had a friend over that was from out of town, and he did not hide it at all. He didn't. And no one found it to be wrong that he was doing this. Like, his friend literally saw him shove me and hit me and did nothing. Nothing. Didn't even care. He literally just walked away. It had gotten so bad and so routine to the point where I started to fight back. This man and I would go blow for blow. When I tell you that your girl can take a punch in the face from a man, trust and believe I could, and I could wheel him back. It was bad. I remember one time he had shoved me so hard into a corner of a wall that my elbow, like on the back here, turned like black and blue. And I ended up having to get a x-ray done, and I had a hairline fracture in my arm. I had bruises all over my face that I had to cover. I had welts on my face I had to cover all the time. The bruising on my chest was always really bad. It was like that was his go-to spot to like punch me and hit me really hard and push me really hard. And I think that was his way of like just trying to hide it, but trust and believe he hit me in my face a lot. One of the last times he had ever put his hands on me was really bad. And I don't think I can mention it on this video of what I had to do to get away from him. He was an avid hunter. I mean, to say it in like a roundabout way. He was an avid hunter, and we had gotten into a physical fight, you know, and he was running to the back closet where he had kept his things that he used when he hunted. And I remember that I also have things, because this is what I grew up around. This is normal to me. I also had an item in the trunk of my vehicle at the time that I I had to grab to physically defend myself and to hold up to him so I could leave the house, because he was trying to load his item. I never thought that in all the times that he had put his hands on me, I never thought that he would unalive me. I never thought that, even though it's crazy to say and it's crazy to admit, I never thought that, this kind of makes me upset, because I had never thought, with all that happening, that like I was going to end up a statistic like in a newspaper. I want to cry. But I had never thought that, you know. But something that night, I knew it. And I knew that if I didn't defend myself, that I was going to end up like that. So, luckily, it didn't get to that point. Who knows what my life would be like if I had to defend myself. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky that obviously that didn't have to happen. But I put up with this for so long, and sometimes still to this day, I don't know why. I loved him. I thought he loved me. I think that growing up the way that I did not have a good, easy childhood. And I think that it really, I don't know that word, I guess obscured my thought of what was okay. It obscured my thought of what you would do in a relationship, or what was acceptable, what love really was. I grew up in a household, one of my earliest memories was watching my dad beat my mom. I grew up in a household where after my parents weren't together anymore, my mom struggled. You know, she had me and my brother, and it was hard to keep food on the table sometimes. She dated men that weren't good men at all. She dated a couple men that tried to hurt me. Like SA-wise. And I remember not saying anything. I remember the last time it happened, I was probably like 13 or 14. And it was a man that lived with us. And I remember not saying anything because I thought that if I were to say something, I guess not that my mom wouldn't believe me, but I was afraid of watching her struggle and kill herself, working 2 to 3 jobs to support our home. And at least with this person's income, she only had to work 1 job. She wasn't struggling to keep us fed, you know? And I guess I learned at a very young age to deal. Even if the circumstances were abusive, I learned to deal. And I think that really played a part in allowing myself to be in that sort of scenario in an abusive relationship like that. I know that I kind of gave like a little bit of a story of how it began and how it ended and a little bit of stuff in the middle. I'm not really going into like specifics. But I kind of wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about it. It happens to a lot of us, even us women that are strong and that stand before you today that would never deal with that. I dare a man to lay their hand on me. I don't care who you are or where you're at or where I'm at. I will smile in my mugshot. I do not care. I'm not that person anymore. I haven't been that woman in a long time. And I just wanted to come on and I wanted to tell my story. And I wanted to encourage other people because I know that a lot of times, like watching Emily's live chat, there's so many people in there that are very upset over what they're hearing. And You're not alone. It happens to so many of us, and it's sad. Please raise your children to do better. Whether they're male or female, raise your kids to do better. Make sure your daughters know what love is and what's acceptable. And make sure your sons know what love is and what's acceptable. And that goes on both parts. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. Hitting somebody is not solving a problem. We got to do better for our kids. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.